channel. It's Justin and Alice Wheezy with Wheezy Outdoors. We intended to hopefully have a lot more videos this past season, but as it turned out, we were running around like our rear ends were on fire and never got to them. With that being said, we're still very new at this game, so bear with us as we are learning. Whole new learning curve for us. We had a pretty incredible season considering the challenges that we had. There's no doubt that this is one of the most challenging seasons that we had this year at Bear Camp. We had in total 17 hunters and it was 11 harvests, correct?
Yeah, 11 harvests. Yeah, actually would have loved to get more footage of that. Got very little since it was so busy, and yeah, really been good to get that one with the bear charge on it.
Yeah. For those that follow us on Facebook, one of our clients shot a bear, and we did decide to kind of pull out, let it lay overnight. Skipper went back in there the next morning to pick back up on the blood trail, which was easy, and we did. And sure enough, it wasn't down yet. With that being said, you know, we had a good group of clients. We cannot thank our staff enough. They all helped, and they, you know, all of our clients come from all over. It was something to be proud of. We had a lot of food this year, so the baits were challenging, a lot of nocturnal bear and whatnot, but only 2 hunters walked away.
Yeah,
only two walked away without having the opportunity. So a lot of hunters did at least see bear, whether they based upon size or whatnot, but again, had a great season. And as it turns out, one of our hunters was nice enough to leave us with some meat, as neither Justin or I had a bear tag this year, and we love bear meat. With that being said, Justin's gonna take you on a roll. With that being said, Justin's gonna give you a sneak peek at one of our favorite preps for bear meat.
This right here is just bear steaks. I pretty much take some of these once in a while, and I actually make jerky out of them, which is really, really good. You might want to try this one. So all I've done with this is I've took a 1/4 cup of tender quick, which is simple meat cure, really easy to do, and a full cup of brown sugar. And then what I do is I just take it, I spread it onto the meat, and I mix it up and put it in the refrigerator overnight. And this sat overnight already. It's got a lot of juices in there.
Just how you want it to look.
Just exactly it. And all I do is I rinse this off, dry it up, and get it ready for the smoker, which we are going to do this afternoon.
Next is another favorite recipe of ours. It took me a long time to really peg down this recipe. The local meat market loved me for how many pork ribs I was purchasing at the time. These are a couple bear ribs that we had, and easy enough for prep. What you're gonna do is you're gonna take them out, rinse them off, pat them dry. You're gonna trim off any silver skin or anything, but don't trim off too much fat. The fat is really gonna be what adds moisture to the meat and really holds the flavor too. So smoked bear ribs, I will put this recipe in the description. With that being said, just to save time, I already pre-measured everything. So we're gonna start out with a 1/4 cup of packed brown sugar. Throw that right in there. I have an 1/8 cup of garlic powder. I have an 1/8 cup of seasoning salt. Lowry's works awesome. We also have some Hunter's Blend seasoning salt. Any seasoning salt out there is really whatever you can find. And then we have a 1/8 cup of onion powder and an 1/8 cup of paprika. Next, this one, it depends on how sensitive you are to heat. Usually if Jess and I like heat, so I'll use a full tablespoon of cayenne pepper when I'm making it just for us, but since we have the little guy, I'm being a little bit more conservative on the cayenne pepper, so it's really to taste up to a tablespoon. And then I have a tablespoon each of black pepper and salt. Followed by 2 teaspoons of ground ginger and 2 teaspoons of Chinese 5-spice. You can make your own Chinese 5-spice. It is fantastic seasoning. Really a lot of aroma to it, and it really puts the flavor in there. Last but not least, I didn't measure out because it's just going to be a dash of cinnamon. Next, we're going to mix this all up. And obviously you want to try to get as many of the clumps out as you can. Oh, this smells awesome. And then last but not least, this is a dry rub, meaning we're not going to add any liquid to it. As it sits on the meat, the salt and that is going to pull moisture out of the meat, creating kind of its own marinade. So it's going to be fantastic. Let me get the gloves on here. And then basically what we do after that is just put a nice liberal coating on it. Don't be shy. And you want to make sure that you get, of course, both sides, or top and bottom, as well as around the sides. And then just rub it in. Make sure it's nice and fully coated. Looks like I can use a little bit more up there. And of course you might end up with some left over in that event, as long as you don't have any contamination in it, that you can store this in a normal spice container and be good to use for the next one. But of course, since we're handling bear, watch out for food contamination. You're going to get that in the meat. And then what we do is we will just cover this with plastic wrap, and I'm going to throw it in the fridge for about 2 hours, couple hours. All right, guys, well, these have been sitting in the fridge for a few hours, after which we take them off, we set them on the countertop and let them rest for about 15 minutes. In the meantime, I fired up the Traeger. Now, a lot of different ways you can do this. We have a box smoker, as well as, we've had smokehouses in the past and everything. We love our Traeger setup, especially for doing small batches. Really keeps the heat consistent. So what you do after you let these rest, you're gonna place some meat side up right on the grate. Oh, they smell so good. So right on the grate, we're gonna place them just like that. With that, all these Traegers come with temperature probes. Ribs are a little tough, as obviously you're going to be thicker in some parts. What we do is just go for the thickest part. Keep in mind this is not going to be really accurately gauging what the overall temp is, but a good smoke is all about slow time and proper temp. We're going to let these smoke technically about 3 hours, but we'll be back in a half hour to show you the next step.
Alright, since we got the ribs on and we're going to be smoking those, I'm actually going to smoke up some of this jerky meat too. It's actually steaks, but makes good jerky cubes.
I might have to move those ribs over.
These over a little.
What toads are we using?
These are actually the signature blend from Trigger. Some of my favorite actually to do this because it kind of goes with almost anything.
Say hi.
So what I'm going to do is some of these I'm just going to leave with the brown sugar and quick cure, and actually half of them I'm going to put on some of this rib rub that we made. Some with a little bit of spice to them. Oh, they smell delicious.
Oh, Finn wants to say a Halloween word. All right, Finn. What are you gonna say? Nothing.
Life of a 4-year-old. Alright. Now, I'm just gonna let those cook, smoke up. See you after a little bit.
Alright, so right now the ribs have been on here about 45 minutes so far, and I should have elaborated a little bit more that although the smoking process itself takes roughly about 3 hours, about every half hour to 45 minutes we like to come out here and spritz it down, because that's just a fun word to say. Say it with me, spritz. Right here what I have is just a mixture of apple cider vinegar 1-to-1 with water. So 1 cup of apple cider vinegar, 1 cup of water, and all I do is come out here. Oh, if you guys could smell this, is lightly give it a little bit of spritz. And why not? We're gonna spritz this as well. Not too much on that though. What this mixture does is it's gonna hold moisture within the meat, and it's gonna give it that nice smoky bark. So we'll be out here a couple more times until the ribs are done. Like I said, about every half hour to 45 minutes, you're gonna wanna spritz some. Alright guys, well these have been on for more than a couple hours yet. We checked the temp, we're looking good so far. Dragging on to the wee hours of the night. All you lucky folks get to see me in my pajamas now, but look how good this looks. Can't see it, but get there. We're gonna pull the thermometer out. I'm gonna put everything in this little dish here. Pulling these off yet? Close that back up so it keeps going. Take you on to the next step. Alright guys, so first round of smoking's done. We're on to the next step, and this is going to be the semi-final step, I'll say. With that being said, I got 2 sheets of tin foil, and right here I got a mixture of, it's about a half a stick of butter, so 4 tablespoons of butter with equal parts melted honey. I'm going to take these pieces, I'm going to lay them bone up at this point. Give them another quick spritz, we like that word here, of the vinegar water mixture on both sides. And don't be shy, give it to it liberally. And then we're gonna take our little honey butter mixture and be very generous. Basting all around, making sure you get the edges. Flip it over, get the other side. And you're gonna wanna end this or finish this step with bone up, because that is how they will go on the grill. And I get it, I know honey's expensive, but don't be too shy in using this stuff. This is what makes it good. Luckily for us, we know people that own bee boxes, so they give us some nice, real Minnesotan honey. And again, making sure that they're fully coated. We're gonna keep them bone up. I'm gonna pull my gloves off for this because they are super sticky now. And then wrap them very tightly in tin foil. You can also use butcher paper. Unfortunately, we're out at the moment. Butcher paper will keep it having that nice smoky taste to it. All right, let's go throw them back on the box. All right, here we go. Again, bone side up. Let's move the thicker one towards the back. We're gonna leave them sit on the smoker here for roughly about another hour. We're gonna come back out and check them, and that's where the final step comes in. We'll see you guys then. All right, guys, it is time to get the ribs off the trigger, and look how good these jerky bites are gonna be. So with that being said, let's pull them off. Well, now that they're off the trigger, we're gonna open them up. Oh, look at that. That is perfection. Oh, and it smells so good. With that being said, we're gonna open them up and loosely cover them. We're gonna pop these in the fridge overnight. Ooh, that is looking good. Pop these in the fridge overnight. We're gonna let them rest on the countertop about 15-20 minutes, loosely covered. Let them rest overnight in the fridge. You can eat them right away. Obviously, we ran out of time just tonight, so this will be tomorrow's supper. In the meantime, the skipper pulled the jerky bites off the trigger, and these look good. All right, well, we pulled these jerky bites off. A lot of things you can do with these. You can dry them further. I mean, obviously they're cooked. You can eat them as is. We'll end up canning some or freezing some just to preserve it a little bit longer. But
Try a bite of these things.
Fresh off the grill. Oh, that smoke. That's good stuff.
Could use a little more sugar next time, I think. That's pretty darn good.
Excellent. All right. Well, tomorrow's supper of bear ribs are planned. There is one last matter of preparation, so to speak, with the ribs, if you choose to use barbecue or not. All you're doing is bringing it back up to an eating temperature after this. Right now, it is good to eat as it is. For us, being that it got kind of late in the day, we're going to bring it back up to an eating temperature tomorrow night. You mix it with your favorite barbecue sauce, and you'll see more of that. Good stuff. Finn, are you going to be a bear hunter?
Oh, the batteries are dead.
Oh, the batteries are dead? You won't talk?
Nope.
Fine, just tell Mommy. Are you going to be a bear hunter someday? Yes, everybody, this is actually our garage. Well, after smoking them up yesterday, we did put them in the fridge overnight. Figured we'd plan on having them tonight for supper as we're celebrating. Our little girl was baptized this morning. So right now I got the Traeger back up to right now I got the Traeger back up to temperature. What you're gonna do now is just remove them from the tin foil, right back on the grill grate, meat side up. Look at how good these look. So again, these are fully cooked, or smoked I should say. All we're doing now is bringing them back up to temp. Last step is, you can eat them as is. We like a little bit of barbecue sauce on it. You can use any kind that you like. We normally make our own, or for sake of this, we have a nice bottle of Sweet Baby Ray's. Then you're gonna just brush that. Like that. Bring him back up. It's going to take about a half hour. We'll let them sit here, and then it's shell time. We'll see you after they're off. And now that they're done resting, we are ready to dig in. We are hungry, but this is sure smelling good. If you guys, but this is sure smelling good. With that being said, we're gonna get our supper going here. Little Finn's excited to eat bear ribs too. We'll go outside, buddy. So one of our first of hopefully many recipe videos to come. Stay tuned. One of the next videos that I'm gonna be posting is gonna be a real surprise. Actually, a new recipe that I tried last year with woodcock. So we're really looking forward to have that. Skipper's kicking off his busy season in the grouse woods. So if you guys found any value in this, like this, tried the recipe, or want to see more, like and subscribe to our channel because got more coming your way.
The bear ribs got done, and I'm a bear hunter from Wheezy Outdoors.
You're a bear hunter from Wheezy Outdoors. Give me knucks, bud. Boom. All right.